This is a Wave breaking news alert.
Kids should be able to go to school, go to the bus stop in the morning without any fear of gun violence, of having to run for their life in the morning. It's absolutely unacceptable that these types of incidents have happened now twice in the last week.
A breaking news alert now at noon. A homicide investigation going on outside two schools, Central High School and Coleridge Taylor Montessori Elementary School. This after a woman who was walking a young child to the bus stop was fatally shot by a 15-year-old. Thanks so much for joining us for Wave News at noon, everybody. I'm Rob Wells. The shooting happening about 8 o'clock this morning. It's the second time in just 1 week that a teenager opened fire at that very same location. Wave News reporter Fernando Garcia Franceschini is live at the scene. And Fernando, you were actually there as Metro Police Paul Humphrey chief shared a stark word for advice.
Yeah, Rob, that's right. I mean, he called it a traumatic event that changes a neighborhood. This particular neighborhood where we're standing at right now, like you mentioned, it's the second time in less than a week where there's been a shooting in this area. Police saying that today's shooting sent their lives. Like you mentioned, the young woman who was shot earlier today has died, and LMPD says she was walking a young child to the bus stop when shots were fired. That suspect, a 15-year-old suspect, is in custody, and LMPD this morning was saying that investigators were interviewing the suspect, and because it's still early on in the investigation, it is unclear whether there was any sort of relationship between the suspect and the victim. But Chief Humphrey says again that this is a traumatic event for the children and the community in general.
I want to remind you that these are not anonymous faces of kids and gunmen. These are our kids. These are our kids in our neighborhoods and our communities that we're talking about. These are lives that are forever changed because of incidents like this, whether they are the actual victim or they experience this, they witness this. This is a traumatic event for so many people that changes neighborhoods for the worse. This is the second time in a week that we're talking about this, and it is absolutely pathetic. Anytime we're talking about a 15-year-old suspect who has now killed a woman, done it in front of very small children, it's absolutely unacceptable. We're not going to tolerate it.
I mentioned it's still early on in the investigation, so there are still a lot of questions out there. We are wondering if there is any sort of relationship between last week's shooting and the shooting from this morning. LMPD says they will share answers on that whenever they do have those answers. And of course, we will have the latest updates for you both on air and online throughout the day. Reporting live, Fernando Garcia Franceschini, Wave News.
Okay, Fernando, thanks so much for the update. Elsewhere, GE Appliances is bringing major investments to the city of Louisville. Company brass announcing a $3 billion investment that's over the next 5 years. First phase will increase production and modernize plants in Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and in South Carolina. They say that the move will help operations along with its workforce and communities.
And it hasn't always been easy. It's been a tough road at times, challenging, especially the last 5 years. But we've grown faster than our competition. We've doubled our business. We've invested billions of dollars in our products and our plants. We've put in the work. We got here thanks to all of you. Thanks to our partners at
And there's a lot more to this big announcement. We'll bring you all the details a little bit later this afternoon on Wave News. Meteorologist Brian Good is in now with a look at the forecast, and hot and dry, that is the repeat pattern.
You got that right, and it's going to be one of the longer heat waves of the season and perhaps the most intense, depending on how things play out with moisture in the air the next few days. But today we are still into, at least got our toes into that storm chance zone, all right? It's mainly going to be to our south, central, and southern Kentucky. One spot like E-Town, like you're looking live at the moment, has an opportunity to get a couple of downpours later on. You can see some of those cumulus clouds trying to do their everything and get a little bit more height to them. We'll see if they can provide for some downpours a bit later on. Right now it's 82, by the way, in E-Town. Same here in Louisville, 83 into Bardstown. Many spots I think will be on the 80s side, just shy of 90 versus in the 90s today because of the clouds that we've had this morning. You see those downpours now starting to pop in our southern tier of counties, all the way from Harts, Greene, even parts of Taylor and Adair, starting to see small downpours. No lightning being detected, but this will be the spot to watch for the greatest amount of coverage for today. The more north you are, the lower this percentage will be, but I think the average of about 30% is fair for just about everyone watching right now into Wave Country. We'll talk more about that heat for the weekend coming up here in just a few more minutes, Rob.
Okay, Brian, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Well, it is back to school and the books for students in Oldham County as they return to the classroom today for the kickoff of yet another academic year. The school district has more than 12,000 students between preschool, 9 elementary, 4 middle, and 3 high schools. And this year they're doing it under brand new leadership. Claudette Harold took over as the new superintendent just a couple of months ago. Students we spoke with seem pretty pumped up for what's ahead.
What are you most excited for since it's the first day of school?
Doing whatever I can.
That's the spirit. Now, the same could be said about Oldham County's newest superintendent. Stay with us on Wave News to hear her plans for the entire district. As students return to the classroom, one Kentucky Police Department is now sharing a trend that parents might be taking part in right now that could actually put their child in danger. Lucy Cole breaks down what you shouldn't be posting on social media.
If you're a parent, you might be guilty of snapping a photo like this and posting it on your social media pages. While it's a fun tradition, it could be dangerous.
Everybody wants to put pictures of their children on social media for their first day of school. With safety of students in mind, we want to make sure that parents understand the importance of not being very detailed in that message.
Winchester Police shared a post from the Kentucky Department of Criminal Justice Training advising parents to double-check those back-to-school signs.
Maybe you need to leave a blank space on some part of that post. We want to make sure that parents don't put so much information out there that predators can put 2 and 2 together and figure out 4 and figure out where a student's at, what class they're in, where they may be at in the building, what grade they're in. They might even be able to figure out a birth date.
In the post, it says to leave out information like your child's age, teacher's name, or homeroom information. Chief Thompson says this is a good reminder that social media is forever, and once you've deleted a post off your page, it can never fully be erased after its initial post. The call for caution comes as Thompson says cyber issues are rising.
Especially during the school season, it's a weekly occurrence around here. You know, there's a lot of dangerous apps out there from Snapchat to Instagram. It allows them to get into a space that you definitely don't want them in, but you'll never know that they are in if you don't monitor it.
It's a push for extra caution to keep dangerous people out of the classroom, making school a safer place and protecting students while celebrating those milestones.
And Chief Thompson says that if you run into cyber issues, contact the social media platform directly first. If you think that a crime is actually being committed, contact your local police department. A state law that went into effect just last year may be having unintended consequences. House Bill 611 passed to track and crack down on truancy in schools. After 15 unexcused absences, a school district must then refer the case to the county attorney for consideration and even possible prosecution. Some district officials say they've seen parents remove their children from public education just to avoid going to court.
Educators have taken on more roles than just being the teacher. We had a conversation the other day. We're counselors, we're doctors, we are, sometimes we're parents. We have to step in and assume so many more roles.
She says that House Bill 611 also scared some parents. Once they knew that they could actually face troubles, some students began appearing in class more and showed up with excused absences. Well, keeping ahead of Mother Nature, we all know it's no easy task. When we come back, a little bit closer look at the pros and cons of flood insurance.
All right, well, we do have at least a chance of some downpours today. Then we get into a long stretch of dry and hot weather. And then a whole other headline shows up in the 10-day. I'll let you know what that is coming up next.